So today is May 20th, and I haven't been working on the car for a few days. But the last time I left off, I was lining up this window, and so everything is in pretty good, pretty snug. And in this video, I guess maybe I'm pointing out that I haven't been so quick to fiberglass anything in, cut any materials, because I've learned that when you're quick to do it, and you don't have all your measurements or whatever, you end up having to undo what you did, which is why my door looks the way it does, because I have done a lot. Anyway, some of the things that I have found out is that now that my windows lined up, my roof line, I'm thinking, has probably changed. I think it's a lot higher than on the other side, and that could be a problem. But I got to figure that out. I think it could look good, give you more headroom, all that shit, but that could be a problem. I got to be careful with that. But in any case, I was going to glass this in. I'm glad I didn't. I got it to be a little bit more lined up. I thought maybe it was going to be a little bit more shallow, so I literally created, this part to go here, so that way it could be nice and straight, and I can line it up for the rear, which I'm still going to have to do because this has all been obliterated. And that's what happens in the process. Keep changing. You see the lines drawn right there because that's what matches up on the other side. And so, again, once you do something on one side, you always got to mirror that idea, make sure it's on the other, and almost keep up with it. Otherwise, you can forget all the changes that you made. But anyway, looks like my window is sat in there real good. So that lines up with the door frame and also the molding. The other thing is I did get a new door. My old door is obliterated over here, but that is the back side of my mock-up because I had to obliterate that shit. Hold on, I'll pull it out. This is the shit that happens in building something. So, as you see, this started out to be a door, but I ended up cutting in order to get the shit mocked up just right. This is the inside of the door, and so it's been obliterated, half-ass supported, but I figured out how the hinge is supposed to work. But anyway, I since got a new door the other day. I even made a mold. You can kind of see what that is. I even made a mold of the doors, so that way when I do figure out how it's supposed to be, I drop in my mock in the mold, and then I guess maybe add in more mold to the mold for whatever changes I had to do. So that was the agenda, making a mold of the original piece. I thought I was smart, thinking ahead. But anyway, so now that my door is in, I think I know where it has to be in regards to the hinge. The cool thing that I like is that my window frame, or the windshield frame, now is gonna match up more so to the door, like it does on the other side. So I don't, because all morning I thought I had to cut right here and bring it out in order to match up my window. But I'm realizing that basically all I got to do is just put some kind of support, push my molding out or my weather stripping out, and then I should be good. So my next step is probably just getting a battery running power to the wire harness, get the window going up and down like I've done before, and making sure it seats properly. Once that happens, as far as the body's concerned, I'm good. And then it's just a matter of connecting the door hinge. The other thing I like about this idea so far, if you notice the top corner of the seat where your shoulder's going to be, in my original door, is it still out? So on my original doors, that's the hole right there for it. I cut it out, which I probably will end up doing again. But I cut it out because the door was bumping into the seat and it wouldn't allow. So right now, I actually have an allowance without even having to cut the door. Which, in fact, I might cut the door, move the seat over, and then now you got more, elbow room on the other side. So you might go cool with the design, and then since the space is there, might as well use it because that it flows up to the seat right there. It doesn't have to be. So I can change the design, and I think that would be cool. So this is an example of when you come up with an idea, shit just dominoes to shit that you wouldn't even think that it would. And sometimes it could be negative, sometimes it could be positive. So and that's how far it goes. Here I am, I'm working on a window. I'm moving the outside of the door, the inside of the door, messing with the hinge, and then it directly relates to the space and clearance of obviously that seat. So I mean, that's how far shit goes. And when you're working on a project of this magnitude, I don't care what, just like when this camera frame moves across the car, I don't care what you look at. When you make a decision in that spot, it's a direct effect of something else close to it. Oh well, to be continued. My goal now is to scrub this idea, make sure it flows and it works, and again, it doesn't affect something else. And then hopefully by tomorrow or Monday or my next video, I can start glassing shit in and making it permanent. Again, I just have to make sure this idea, this window works. Check out my roof line. I got to open up the door, check out my roof line, see how much of a difference that made. Because I'm thinking that shit's pretty significant. Don't know if I like it off distance or whatever. It might just get too extreme. But if I do like it, then I got to figure out, well, what does it take for the other side of the car to look identical? Is it just bumping it up, which I think it just has to be bumped up? Or do I have to cut the center, move it up? You know, what has to happen in order to make that shit happen? So, got to figure that out. And then once I know my driver's side works, then you obviously got to mirror everything that you did on driver's side, passenger side, and then I can start glassing shit in on my dash because I know my measurements should be even. And so that's the goal at this point.